Hello, good evening, and happy Wednesday. Now, I'm seeing this with a slight delay on it. I don't know why that is, but never mind. I'm here, and tonight we're going to be playing with bokeh technique. Now, I don't know if any of you are going to have some people join. I'm just getting the cameras ready for you. So let's do that one. Take that one off. Oh dear. Hello, Zana. Nice to see you. These cameras don't want to play with me tonight. All right, take that. I can't take that one off. Oh, come on. Well, it just doesn't want to go. Let's just put this one back again. Come back to me. Come back to that one. And there we go. We've got there. Cameras playing games. Okay, so bokeh technique. Zana, have you ever heard of the bokeh technique? And do you know what I'm meaning? Hi, Ginny. Nice to see you. All the way from Colorado. Lovely. Hi, Zena. Zena, I know you've seen me do this many moons ago. It's an old-fashioned one. It's one that I've done years and years ago. Not done it recently, but somebody asked me how to do it, if I could do it again, and I can't remember for the life of me. Hopefully someone will come on or later on will just let me know. It was them that asked. But yes, quite recently somebody's asked. So I've got an array of colours here. Yes, I know I love these ones. I love that one, and that one, but I don't want to just go with those three tonight. I want to introduce some others, have a bit of a mix-up. So they're the colours I'm going to play with. Okay, I have got all the ink pads out, which is my first point of call. So what I'm going to show you today is a wooden chopping board. Okay, if you see that one's that side that way, it says sliced and diced. It is a kitchen chopping board. It's a wooden one. There's some remains of previous projects on here. I did have a palette there somewhere, and I don't know where that's gone. Just to scrape some of these bits off, I'll use that one. This is a letter opener, a very old-fashioned letter opener. I've got some adhesive or something on here. It won't get in the way, but it's just a case of it's a ridge that I don't really want to have. So just get that off. There you go. I wouldn't use my nice take your pick tool to get that off. But because this side's all inked anyway, and I just thought I'd keep it cleaner looking tonight and do it on this side anyway. So I have got a piece of the watercolour paper that we've been using, because this is National Watercolour Month still. So we're continuing the theme today and then Sunday, and then believe me, we won't be on inking. So it's Fluid 100 watercolour paper. I've already gone over before about the quality. You can get the cheaper versions. Trust me, I've used the cheaper versions in the past. When you get the decent stuff, it really makes a huge difference. Hopefully you saw that. Hopefully you saw that on the blue midnight sky that we had coming down the other day. So I'm going to use this piece here, and I'm going to tape this down onto my board today. It's just to make it a bit easier for me. You can do this. It does help. You can use masking tape if you've got it. I haven't got any low tack masking tape at the moment, so I'm just going to use the tape that I use to hold the dies down, the Scotch tape. So if you have the blue one, it's the removable tape, matte finish and removable tape. So I like this one. So I'm just taking a couple of pieces off there. This one can form a frame around the outside if you keep the edges nice and straight, and you want to keep a little white frame. It does work really well. So the reason I'm using a wood board instead of my grid paper or a laminated grid sheet I sometimes use, I'm not using them because I want to heat emboss onto this. I want to dry it. Okay, so if I use a wooden block, I can, little bubbles under there, I don't really want those. And just remember the name of the watercolour paper to get some. I must remember the name. Yeah, it's just watercolour paper. It's the Stampin Up watercolour paper. So there's nothing really to remember. We only do one type. So it's just special paper for watercolours on it. Okay, I've got that little bubble out of there, I think. I don't know why that's done that. I want to just protect the edges and make it so hopefully the inks aren't going to run over. It's going to start off by being quite similar to the last one we did with the sky. So I've got some bits there, they're out of the way. Now what I'm going to do for you is I'm just going to bring these over first. Where we're heading with this, we're heading out with the stylish shapes. Okay, hi Jean, might know it's something else. Okay, yeah, so stylish shapes, we have lots of circles in here. I'm using all bar the largest one, and then we have the squares and the banners. They are all stitched. Okay, so all of these are stitched effects. So I've taken out some of these just to save a bit of time, and I've just die cut some of these circles. All we need is the circle that comes out. These pieces here have got a nice stitch edge to them, and they can all be used. So I will leave them with the packet. I'm going to put them back on my magnet as I take them off because I don't want to lose them. Okay, this little one I've done twice because the smaller ones are quite handy to use. Another one, that's the other one sitting there in the middle. Take this one out just carefully. I'm using, I didn't get my daubers out, did I? I'm using Vellum. You can use acetate. The only trouble with acetate is it's much harder to die cut. If you want, if you've got a lot of circle punches, Stampin' Up used to do loads of circle punches. So if you've got circle punches, then you can use with those as well. For tonight, I just wanted to use what you can all still get your hands on. And I know these were quite popular because circles, you can't beat circles really. So circles are pretty good. Got a bit of tape there just to get rid of. I'm going to push that through. Oh, it's stuck to this one. Remember the stitched pieces, the dies sometimes will just really stick in there. Don't want to come out. They will come out just with, oh, there you go, with a bit of help. There we go. So there's my vellum circles and there's all my dies away. So that's good, they're safe. Okay, so I'm going to be using these two pieces and all different sizes, plus another secret ingredient that you're going to want to see. So first of all, we're going back to the watercolouring. So I'm just going to grab a pot of water. I've got a few tonight because I know it. We washed these, but even when I bring it back to the blue, it's just still showing some colour. And we're going away from the blues tonight. We've done them. They want to come back and see us again. So I'll leave this over the corner. Hopefully you could just get that out of the way. Hopefully you can see. I'm going to zoom the U in a bit, just to say, this one, this way. There we go. So it's just going to come onto that board. You can see a bit better. Just keep washing that a bit more. Like the selection of shapes and the die set. I love this set, Linda. They are really good. So that's me sort of, there's still some in there. What happens is when the ink, when you're washing with the ink, it does soak up back up into the actual piece in here. So really the only way to get it out well and truly is to flush it. So I'm going to get a clean pot now. I have these little pots with their lids on for the simple reason once you finish with it, you can put the lid back on and you can not get water spilt everywhere over your table like I did the other night when it went running down the table. So I'm going to have one piece of yellow in here, but I'm going to have some of these other colours. Now I want to bring in the purple, and I want to bring, how do we like those sort of colours together? Maybe want some more, maybe a bit brighter. It doesn't have to be even numbers. Or shall we do those ones? Those go better. They're different. These two are more different, aren't they? Do we like that colour palette? I'm just trying to get away from having favourites that I always use. So these will be the colours I'm going to use. I've only got a small piece of paper here, but we want some quite strong colours. So what I'm going to do is I'm squeezing these again. So squeeze the ink pads quite firmly. You heard me last week. If you can't get the ink to squeeze because you've dexterity problems with your hands, then what you can do is tap it onto a block, okay, a clear block or a piece of acetate. So I'm going to start by doing what I did last time. Take that off, and I'm going to water all over my piece of card. So I'm just going to wet it, okay. and I'm just soaking it down there. I can see it's all wet and shiny. You probably can't see that on the camera. Just making sure that I've got the whole surface. Okay, then we're going to take some of our water. Okay, this will rock a bit if I don't hold it. So I'm just going to bring some of that in, and I'm going to just literally just wet some of the areas on here. We want it quite concentrated, quite dark. Okay, so we can do some different areas. We can go over several times. Okay, but we're making a wash effect on the background. So I'm going to clean that, let that soak in there. Come back with some more. Okay, squeeze this one. We're going to go in with freesia. Okay, I think I'm going to just dry most of this off actually, and then go in with the concentrate colour. Need a bit harder on that, it's not coming out. Some give a little bit better than others. Okay, there is more there we go. So we'll get some of that in, just this tiny drop of water, and we're just going to put some of that. We have to go darker colours, then we will. Okay, that's about all I'm going to get out of that one, I think. Okay, we're going to leave all of these open to the side of me. Next one is Melon Mambo. This is an older ink pad, so it's been widely used like this. Look. So just dry that off and take a little tiny bit of water. And I'm going to put some bright pieces in here. So I'll put a yellow in the middle there. So just trying to make those run and blend. So we're getting a little bit like the effect of the alcohol inks. Many of you have seen me do that several times, some of you in person. But I do like the alcohol inks on the vellum. That works really well. Okay, there's no real rhyme or reason to this. If you want to put some more colour in, you can. Just to break those up a little bit, and I will wash those out. Okay, and lastly, we're going to go to the yellow. Okay. This might be a bit too pale. Okay. So I'm going to take that off. I'm going to take a clean pot again to get some clean water. So I can wash that for yellow. Okay. And then pick up some of the yellow. Okay, so we just want to dab this in here. I have company on the floor. We haven't got Shaz with us tonight. But yeah. Oh, both of them. I've left the door open. David's gone to bed, so I've left the door for them. Okay, so pick some more colour up and just try and make that a little bit stronger. It is very similar to the alcohol blends, alcohol inks. Okay, so that's that one done. So, can you do this with ink spots? Yes, I think you can. Yes, you can do, because you can tap. You can't do it in the lid, Linda, but you can tap it onto the block like I showed you last time. So I'm just doing all of these up. They are handy because you can do them like that. You do not have to. Just tap your inks onto an acrylic block, piece of plastic, not plastic bag. Yeah, that's another technique. But onto like acetate, if you've got a piece of acetate, or just the acrylic blocks that we use for the stamps. So all of that will do well. So I'm just going to take that out of the pot so I don't knock it. Okay, and put the lids back on. Excuse my arm. There we go, and then I won't spill them. Okay, so now we need to dry this. I haven't had this heat gun on today, so this should be okay just to dry it. Okay, so because I've taped it down, I'm just going to leave it on here. Okay, and we're going to dry these pieces off. So you can see that because it's a nice flat surface for the camera. It is actually bleeding under the sellotape, but that's not a problem. I think that's enough. So I'm just going to leave that for just a second. I need to get my white Sponge Dauber out, so just a sec. I've got one somewhere with white on it. Maybe not. Not labelled anyway. Okay, I think I'm going in with a new one then. I'm trying to label them with my Dymo printer now, so as soon as I have a new colour, I will put a nameplate on it. Okay, I mentioned the other day about my white. I don't know when I last inked this. Sorry, we used it in the lid the other day for the splatters, but I need the actual ink pad today. So we're going to try it first. I need to get some white onto that brush, onto the dauber. So I'm going to use up some of this ink in here actually, just to get it saturated on there and get some ink started. Okay, then we're going to go in the actual lid. We'll see how we go as we go. So what I'm going to do is take the pieces of acetate. Okay, I'm going to take that off the edge of the side so I can reach it. So we're just going to come on with some various sized circles. Okay, so these I'm going to write on them with a Sharpie pen with this side up. Because it will be white and it's vellum, we won't know which side we're using. So I'll put this side. This side up. Okay, and the same one on this side up. Okay, so then when you put it down, you've got a piece of dark card or something, you're not going to go downwards like that and actually push the ink, that's residue that's on here, back onto the card where you don't want it. So I'm going to start off with this circle. It's a nice medium-sized circle. Okay, highlight again. Lovely colours. Yes, you know me. I love me purples and pinks. You can't see my camera, my phone, but my new phone case, I traded my phone in and I have got a new phone case because of the different size phone, and I've gone for a beautiful one that just jumped out at me straight away. It's pinks and purples, like it's the camera down onto the table, and it's like the watercolour ink, the blending brushes with the alcohol ink. It's that kind of effect. It looks lovely. So I've got my ink on the dauber here. It's going to keep my fingers free. You could use the blending brushes, sorry. You could use a piece of sponge. The daubers, Stampin' Up sell them by the 5s. You could use those as well. But what I'm going to do is just come around here. Does anybody know what bokeh is? Have you heard it in any other ilk? You'll see what the effect we get as we go around. Okay, so I'm going around the edge of the circle, then I'm filling it in. Okay, and it's going to give you like a halo. So then you can dot in wherever you like with whatever you like. So we could come down here with another one off the edge of the page, and we're going to massage that in. So going both ways, I go circular and clockwise and anti-clockwise. Okay, and I'm going to have lots of bits around. I don't want to have big circles because that takes away too much, but I kind of like to have little ellipses. So we can come around here. Because I got that concentrated ink on here to start with, it is doing pretty well actually. Okay, so I'll go back clockwise and anti-clockwise, and I'm just popping it over here, over the middle section. Now because I'm using watercolours, okay, this is coming off on my lovely clean brand new brush, okay, dauber. So I'm now picking up some of that watercolour ink on here because the ink is wetting it and bringing that ink up, okay. But I'm going to carry on because this is what the idea is. There isn't enough ink on there. It's not a wet ink. It's just been masked with the other. But if you did it enough, you would get an ink pad quite pink on here, or whatever colour comes off the other way. So all I would say to you is I have got more than one of these ink pads, the white. So I did a white technique class once, and I think I've got 3 in all because I had them around the classroom, and it helps you just to keep one just for that purpose. Okay, I should have dug one out, an old one. Okay, I'm just going to make that one a little bit whiter. Okay, so you get the effect, you're kind of making these balloons, these halos. Then what you can do is actually run them over each other. So this side up, I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to run over this one and this one together. So we're going to massage those in. Now, if you just use card, the card would get tatty. The edges would start to get frayed and they wouldn't be perfect circles. Vellum is very tough. So it takes a lot of hassle, you know, a lot of wear and tear on it. Okay. Hi, Wendy. Lovely to see you. Didn't know it was called this, did you not? But we have done it, haven't we, Zena? I'm sure you've seen me do it before. Okay. Because I'm getting this pink on here now, it's lessening my white. Okay. But I'll just persevere with it and see how we go, because I can put some more white liquid on here if I want it a brighter white. So I'm going to come around these pieces now. Clockwise first, then anti-clockwise. Okay, go back in again. And come back. It's kind of giving you that smoky effect. Bokeh technique is basically what cameras do. You have the professional photographers, and they actually can put these balloony-like circles over their camera. So if I see where the edge has gone round there, I'm actually just going to dip in this really wet ink here a little bit. So that might be a better way of doing it. Oh yes, it's coming nice and white. It might show up better using the liquid. Oh yes, that's better, isn't it? So that's going to make me want to do this one again. Just go underneath that pot. Just find the edge that you were on. That proves a good point, because we can use it with the re-inker instead of the squeezing. See, like that, it doesn't need a lot then, does it? It's much better, much stronger. Okay, so we just go lightly over that now, like so. And the big circle over here, we came on this arc. So this is the old style ink pad. We do still do the white ink pads. He's obviously updated them, but mine works perfectly the same. Exactly the same formula. Okay. So you can see how they're jumping out a little bit more. I'm going to put some more dots of this in there. Just spread it around a little bit so it's not too concentrated. And then choose what we're going to do over this half. How's that coming out on the camera? You can see those white circles now, can't you? This one hasn't been used yet, so let's do a fairly big piece of that coming in. So this side up again, so we know which side we're going to keep inky and which one's going to go downwards. Oh, a bit too heavy on there. Spread that one out. Because it's water-based, we can push that colour around. So clockwise and anti-clockwise. You get that whole sharp, crisp white edge then. Fill in the middle. And look at that. Got just a little shadow on there, so I'm just going to blot that off. Little halos there, because it's a bit juicier. Okay, now we want to have some more of the overlapping, so we're going to put some more of these in. We could have a medium one over there. Probably this one. Coming in here. Oops, balancing on me chopping block. So clockwise that way, and then anti-clockwise, because it's just getting into all the grooves. Because if you go all the way one circle, you won't see the edges, won't get in all those tight pieces. Okay, want the medium, the next one up. Probably do another medium. So this side up. Let's do another one kind of overlapping here a bit. You can overlap as much as you want. There's no hard and fast rules. It's crafting. You can do what you like. Fill that in. Lift that one off. Oh yes, I'm liking it. So I have another trick up my sleeve that I'm going to play another card in a minute. So let me just do this one. Another little tool that I'm sure you all have, or you can all lay your hands on very cheaply. These templates I've made, these masks, can be used and used and used. because all it is white ink onto a piece of vellum. I'd just let them dry off, store them. I keep all my masks together. I'd store them in a container when they're dry. And again, like I say, you've got this side up, so you know it's this way that you're going to ink. So when you reawaken that, you're not going to get white onto another piece of card. So I've got 2 lots there. So I think that's going to be enough for me today. But what I do want to do is my other secret weapon. So, great expense. You know how I like to recycle, reuse, repurpose? Well, I have another circle that you all will have. Oh, you didn't get to do it on the other day, did you, Linda? Yesterday, did you, Linda? We will get you doing that next time. This is just a cheap pencil, okay, with a rubber on the end. This is another stamp, okay? It's a rubber, just like our rubber stamps, but what we're going to do is we're actually going to get some ink on there, get it nice and white. Okay, so you can just get it wet in there initially and get the end of it white, okay? You need to keep one pencil just for this purpose, but you've got another rubber stamp there basically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in randomly. I'll do one in the corner first, and I'm going to stamp with it, but I'm going to lightly twist it slightly, really tiny to the left and to the right, and that's what you'll get. You'll get dots. Okay, so it's just a smaller area. Okay, you want to make sure it's inky wherever you want to go, and you can cross these over as well, holding it firmly like you would a stamp, but I'm twisting it very slightly to the left and to the right. That way I get a proper circle instead of just stamping with it. Okay, into the wet, I'll just blot it off in there, and do some more of these. You can have a circle in a circle, very slightly, just swizzling it really. Okay, we'll come down here in this dark colour and make sure we get a little piece in there. There we go, and we've got some little dots coming. Okay, can you see those? Just holding that so it doesn't rattle so much. It's quite therapeutic, this one. Okay, just do as many as you like. If you want to go back and put some other ones on, you can. Yeah, I'll put one on the edge of that one, I think. Because I'm working on the block, it's not moving. I've taped it down, so it's not going to go anywhere. Okay, that's a good strong one. Are you liking this technique? Have you seen anything like this before? The rubber pencil idea, you can do this with colours as well. You don't have to just do it with white ink. I'm going to go over that one again, get it a little bit darker, because where it's sitting it needs to be a bit stronger. There we go. So I'll do this one again and then we'll call it a day, just so I can get it a little bit whiter. Okay, you can see how the different strengths can bring up different things in there. I really like that. I think it's really good. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I'm going to make it up into a quick card. Have I got everything nearby? I think I have. There's not ink on there. So what I'm going to do now is just peel these off. I might actually just dry that. There we go. So that is bokeh technique, okay? So it's, yeah, Jean, you've done it with me, haven't you, a few years ago? So that's in the rubbish. You won't reuse this tape because it's got colours on it. Just gently peel that away, and you've got this nice border. If it doesn't bleed underneath, or even if it does, you can use that as a border and you won't have to trim your card down. Oh, it's sticking to my fingers instead of going in the bin. So just hold it gently and just peel it away. And then this one will come off. start it off and peel it away from your card. There we go. And you get a nice surface like so. Okay, I'm quite liking that, even though it's bled out underneath some of the places. I'm quite liking that, and I think that adds to the character. So I'm going to leave that. Put my chopping board on the floor, or on the chair under there. Okay, so what colour cards do we want? We've got all of those colours to now choose for a base card. I haven't used Fresh Freesia recently, so we've got that one. I'd like to have a layer of lemon in there because I think that might bring it out a little bit. Or even, you know me, I tend to do this, don't I? I have a lemon to a yellow. Tell me what colours you like. Melon Mambo is a stronger colour. Let's take a yellow out and see. Ooh. I just think there's not much yellow there. It might look nice to have a yellow in there somewhere, but that would be too wishy-washy together. So let's see what we can find. We've got base card cut now. So do we like it with that onto there and a lemon base? Or is that too light? Andy says lemon. Love lemon lolly. You think for the base? What colours do you want? You want Melon Mambo as a base card. Okay, and then come in with the yellow. The yellow to the white is too sharp, I think. I'm just wondering if I put that over like that, would that be better? Take the white layer out and then that would work with your lemon. Do you think? As they're the two colours you're liking, we can do that because we can take that messy piece away. Right, let me cut the base card in melon then. It's nice, because of the technique it's nice to have bright colours. It does work well. Let's just get these off the table. Stand them up. Table legs come in really handy. So you could just get away with putting a sentiment on here, a simple sentiment. Or I've got some silhouettes that I'd already cut from before and I thought they might work, some black silhouette flowers. Okay, so that's another card for later. Fold that one. And phone folder. Across there. That's that card. So if you make this, cut this down a little bit. Baby trimmer, where have you gone? You were here just now. You were ready. It's under my nose. There it is. I can't see it. So I'm just going to cut this layer off, I think, now. Okay. Oh, Shaz, hi. We had both the cats in earlier. They weren't talking. They were just mooching around. Daddy's gone to bed. So they wanted some company. They've seen I'm here. And, yeah, gone away again. Okie doke. So there's my panel without the edges on it. Looks good. So with the white, like I say, you can use, if you use the liquid onto a block directly, just the little refill pot here, you could use that on its own. And that will get a stronger white. These are starting, as they dry, they're starting to get lighter, but you can make it darker than that. So I like my proportions, when I do them on a card, I like my proportions to be that way up or that way. I think that way really. I like the bigger one at the bottom. So that is quite in good proportions actually for my card. So let's do a piece of this, slightly smaller, slightly bigger than this, sorry. So we're going to take that one up to, take it up to 8 by 12. If I take another hairline little piece off here, just a gnat's whisker. Okay, tiniest little fragment off there. I can do 8 by 12. Yeah, I think that will do nicely. So this one won't fit in there, so I've got to cut that down with the bigger trimmer. Okay. So go 8 this way. I put a new blade in yesterday, and boy, that makes a big difference. Huge difference. It's just not dragging, it's not snagging, it's just lovely. Okay. So there's that there. And then this is there. Take that scrap away. And we have that just as a little element. Now you see we could, that's quite a narrow border, but it brings that yellow in. We could put that lilac in there as well, I think. See what we've got. Put a double mat in. We've got that one. Oh, look at the width on that. That looks really nice, doesn't it? Brings that in nicely. So remember what I said about the eyeballing, the top and bottom. I've got the same there, so I'm going to put a little pencil mark there. Cut that one off. Because we've got several layers, I like to keep some flat and some raised. Okay, take that one out. And have I got any punches on the table? No. Okay, but for these two, if we want to gut them, I did bring the mini cutter. We like to gut, don't we? I do. You know me. So there's a bottom one. Put one of those on. It will just fit there. And as we've got the circles or the squares, oh, I know what I can do. I'm going to do a banner, a square. We'll do a square out of that. You're only going to see the edge, remember? So you could do that one and then maybe a smaller one next door to it. They will both come out. On top. This is just for gutting purposes. It wasn't something I was going to use, but of course if you're going to use these panels on the front of your card, you could. That's that one. Lovely stitched effect. It's fallen out. So it's not quite cut through the middle there. So it's just a little tiny bit. It's still sticking in there. So if you just bend it backwards and forwards, that sometimes does the trick for the last little bit. If not, I just get a craft knife. Now I would, another time I'm going to show you my I've got the new attachments for the cutting in the take your pick tool, and there is a blade on there. So this is my old one I've had for donkey's years. It's just along that straight bit. There we go, that's out there. That's fine. So that's the layer I'm going to keep, and then the yellow, could probably do the same on there. I'll leave the little one, but I'm going to put a banner in. I don't know what we're going to use for a, that's too long, one of those. So just to have some pieces, so we've got a thinner card. Okay. How many of you scrapbook? I'm interested in knowing the scrapbookers we've got. Would you like me to have one session a month? Bear in mind I do 2 a week. Would you like me to do one of those sessions to be scrapbooking? Because that's just come up recently, and I'm taking part in something, and I thought, you know what, I think I could do one a month. So if I got in the habit of saying maybe the first Sunday of the month or the last Sunday of the month, I'll do scrapbooking. I'm just going to bring that along there. We've got a nice straight line to follow, and the blade just gets in that groove nicely. That one. And this one. I would normally have run that through twice, but because it's stitched, it's got all those little bits to get hold of. Okay, so here are 2 layers. Okay, and then this one will go on the top. So let's put them down one at a time. You need some help with the scrapbook. So there was Zena, yes please, to scrapbooking. Okie doke. I do want to get some classes going now. I'm getting back in the swing of things with having space and rooms and time back. I am planning, and so are a couple of my team. So we are going to be working together on that. But for now, I might have something to show you next week. I'm in a group, and they started a summer challenge, a scrapbook challenge. So every Sunday they'll release a new challenge, and it's going to run for the week. And if you include certain things, we're in teams, and if you include certain things, you can earn points. And it's just no prizes, it's just for a bit of fun, really. And if you do something, if you claim for some points and they aren't there, then the whole project, yours doesn't get counted at all. Now, I was going to put that on pads, wasn't I? Just peel that one off again, talking. It won't be seen. So I'm just pulling that one off, and I'm going to put this on here, and then we're going to mount these ones on 3D. Can't mount it very well when there's a hole in the middle. Okey-doke. So I'm just going to have that little border around there. There we go. It's stuck to me paper now. It's moving. Come on. Stick around the edges there, and I'll get that spatula out again. Get that off me mat. See, it just shows you how a little tiny bit of Tombow really sticks well. Dimensionals. Okay, tweezers. Couple in the middle like so. Yeah, I don't like all flat layers. If it's all flat layers, it's just a little bit boring. So I have to put a little bit of depth in it. So I like the bigger one at the bottom, so that's going to go on there like so. Got a bigger frame on here now. There we go. Just got that spacing in the side there for us. Something you've been wanting to try as well, Marilyn. Excellent. So start giving some thought. If you know I'm going to do this, just start giving some thought to the sort of things you would want to put on your first scrapbook page, because that will just save some time later. Now, these were the ones I used on another card. Can you remember these? Oh, that must be on the table from yesterday. The sunset one. Okay, so we used it on the sunset card here. Okay, and these were the same ones. So these are from Quiet Meadow. And I've just got some different ones that I didn't, just bring them down, the bits I had left over and didn't use. So we've got a tall one. Actually that way up. So we could just have some of this and then trim it off at the bottom. That one's a bit big, I think. So we don't want that one. Just something like so. Coming out, and then I like this one. I cut this one. I seem to remember, in fact, that would probably be enough. Maybe a taller one up there. We started with that one just on the edge, so we've got a tall one. Or shall we put them in the middle? No, we want to see some of the actual bits, don't we? So I think I'm going to do that, bring that down a little bit. I'm going to pivot off this point. I know what I'm going to do is I'm going to use those three, get rid of that one, and start putting them down. Just grab my tweezers. It'll be quicker that way. Okey-doke. Have you got any scrapbooks you could show us, as I never understand what they're really about? Okay, I could do that. When should we say? Should we go for? There's no particular, it doesn't really matter which week. I want to do it on a Sunday, so we'll do a scrap on the Sunday. And as we're coming up to, it's a bit early to do on Sunday, but let's see if I can do it this coming Sunday. That would actually then go nicely doing it on the last Sunday of the month. So we're getting a routine of it. So hey, shall we do that? Because I think I need to make a page tomorrow for this challenge, because they've launched it and there's one Sunday gone. They've announced, so now we've got to start working on that one. So I'm going to try and do that tomorrow. So I need some snips here. Sandra, you had them out. Just going to cut that at the bottom of that one so that that can go along the bottom. All of these like grasses and things, they could all come onto a round scrapbook pages. I haven't scrapbooked for a long while, but I did start on Alaska. I haven't done much at all of Alaska, and that was 5 years ago, but I really need to get doing some more. So that was a reason partly why I wanted to bring some classes in, so I can kind of help others, but I can also work on my own as well. Okay, and then this one can come right down here. Oh, it needs to be there. Trim that off a little bit. I like my tweezers because it gets my hands out of the way and I can kind of see the different looks. Might be a little bit more delicate than that one. But that's too similar to this one. Count that one out. So I'm going to do this one, but I'm going to put some pads on the top here. So let's get the little minis out. Put some of these on here. I do tend to have my Wednesday one as a little bit longer. Where are we? We tend to, and I started on time, didn't I? So let's just put them on the top there. Keep saying never get the time. I know, absolutely. I do keep saying I never have the time. I once said to my previous UK manager we had, Paula, I said to her, if the clock could stop, I could just keep going for ages, you know, stop the clock, and then I could just keep finishing off and just do things I need to do. I'm going to put a little pad under there, or a little piece of a pad. So if you take, I've got a half one here, so if I take the backing off, too fiddly, I take that backing off before I put it under, there, oops. Get that on the tweezers and I can just slide that underneath. And again, I should have used the black ones had I thought, because it's a black card. Now these, you can either leave them scraggy at the bottom or you can level them up like so. It's entirely up to you, or you could take them level with the card. I think I like that like so. So that's looking good at the moment. It still shows off all the bokeh technique. Oh, I've knocked the camera. What happened there? I didn't knock it. Honest, I didn't knock it. Nothing happened. What? How long's that been down like that? Oh dear. You know what? I've got a different weight of camera, I suppose, now. I can zoom you out a little bit now anyway, look. Come back out so you can see a bit more. I didn't see what happened. I'll have to look on the camera, not on the card screen. That's weird. That did just move and I don't know how. Nothing touched it. So I want a little greeting on here. Now I do have those banner dies. They're looking a little messy now. But I have these banner dies. So if I use one of those, find a little greeting that can fit in there. If not, I can do the banners by hand. Okay, just put them back on there. That one in the middle. That'll be fine. These go here. And one of those two must go. I don't want this one. So let's see what I've got in front of me. Aha. So I have a box. I'm just going to flick these over. I've got, ooh, that's quite a nice one. If I can find a little flat greeting, that would work. You have a choice. So we have thinking of you on that one, or we have for you on that one. I just want a small greeting. I don't want a big, I've got a thank you there, but that's a bit too big. But we could have thank you and have it pointing out like that, and I can cut it off. So that would work. Let's show you that one, because that's something a bit different to do. So, thank you. This is the typewriter set that we used not that long ago, and I've got block to hand. Where is everything? pick that one up. And because I had all the ink colours out, I had Melon Mambo, so we can use that one. But what I am going to do, on that other card, the evening one, the navy sky, I wasn't happy that I hadn't used the same. I'd used white on the watercolour. Little black fluffs on there. But I like to use the scraps of the watercolour. Now this is literally all I have left, look. Just this bit here. It is trying to drop again. Oh, yours have joined. There we go. We didn't see any of the flowers go on. Oh, right, okay. I'll see it on replay anyway. I'll look back on it. So I've just got a little scrap here that I want to have that so I can die cut out. So I'm going to tap that tap on there. Plonk that in the middle. Plonk is a crafting term. It is in my house anyway. That one goes there. And I'll run that through the little machine. My plate's on. Quickly cut that. I didn't need to put it that far over, did I? Because I'm going to cut the edge off. Let's do a whole one and we'll see what we think. Okay, look. Pop that on there. It's only a scrap of card. If it does slip, I can do it again. If it's an intricate where you're trying to cut a shape out, I would tape it down every time. Okay, but just for a sentiment on a scrap of card, I can always do one again. So I'll put those dies safely out of sight. So I'm just going to pop that one out. Look, lovely stitched both sides, so innie and outie. And then we could put that on here like so. Now actually that's not too bad, is it? Does that, oh, look, it is dropping. I think my phone is heavier than the last one, and I think that's probably not helping. So it's just the balance. We're nearly finished anyway, so I'm not going to worry too much. Now, if I wanted to, I could cut this off and have that, imagine that with nothing on the end there. So a straight piece here, straight piece at the top there, cut that level with the yellow. And you could have that symmetrical, or I don't actually mind that just coming off the edge there. So I think I'm going to put some pads on there quickly before the camera drops again, and pop those on. Okay, so using the same paper for your sentiment that you use for your card, that's why I don't like, there's lots of different whites out there that you can get your hands on. If you're going to stick to something, try and stick to the same shade of white, because it does make a difference. If I dive over for that one, you might be able to see what I mean if I bring this one back. You probably can't tell on the camera, but the festive greeting here is on basic white card, and the rest of it is watercolour. So the watercolour is a kind of an off white. Yeah, it is creeping again, isn't it? Oh, look at that. So this is my new phone. So it's the bigger size phone. So, because you know I keep saying my eyes are going. So let's just stick with it. But this was a sentiment. So the two different colour whites. You've got a white there and you've got a different white underneath it. If I hold it close, you might see it's different textures, different colour. So I've stamped on to just the same as I've been using here. Okay, so we're going to put that one underneath where the camera's sitting at the moment. Camera's creeping again, yeah, definitely. So I'll move that one up so you can see that. Okie doke. I love it. You can see the technique, you can see the different colours on there, and I will put some clamps on here, make this stick for next time. Okay, so I hope you think that was nice, and would be having a go, and don't forget your rubber pencil. Okay, the rubbers on the end of a pencil do work nicely. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to bring you back to me because I'm not moving. Okay, so let's just take that off and come over. There we go. So I'm static. I'm on the camera that is in front of you. So move that one out of the way now because you can get rid of that. There we go. Pretty. Thanks ever so much. Thanks for putting up with my camera drooping. But now I've taken the camera off you, I can show you my new case. So this is my new case. Look at that. So the purple, you can't see it so well through the phone. But if I take that off, you'll actually be able to see that as being pinks and purples, just like the alcohol ink and the isopropanol technique on the vellum. So I really love that. So that's just a piece of artistic work. So I might try and replicate something similar. So that's just me having fun. Anyway, we are getting to the end of bonus days. If you make a purchase before the 31st, before 11 o'clock, then you will get £4.50 voucher for spending next month. And just before I came on air, at 8 o'clock, the new mini catalogue went live. So I have had a sneak peek. So any demos on there, it is up for viewing. So you can log in and go to catalogue page and it will be there for a download. Not to be shown out, we can't publicise it anywhere yet, but we can order the catalogues for you on the 1st of August, okay? And they start from September. Okay, so that's me for now. So just think, if you need anything purchased, you want to purchase this month, then £45 gets you £4.50 off next month. Okay, so leave that one with you. Get in touch if you need anything, and I will